Well, hi Bob, thanks for joining us again. Always a pleasure to speak with you. Let's jump in, shall we? Can you tell us what we should be looking at in the week ahead?
Relatively busy week for the US dollar. Key stats include the market's preferred ISM survey PMI numbers, got manufacturing and non-manufacturing figures to consider, and the ADP non-farm employment change figures on Wednesday. Focus will then shift to weekly jobless claims figures on Thursday, ahead of non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate at the end of the week. For the euro, busy week ahead. German economy is in focus with factory orders, industrial production, retail sales, trade in focus throughout the week. There's also private sector PMIs. We've got manufacturing and service sector numbers from Italy and Spain, and finalized numbers from France, Germany, and the Eurozone. Expect stats from Germany to be key in the week. For the pound, it's a quiet week on the economic data front. Finalized private sector PMIs. Any revision to service PMI numbers will be key for the pound. Main event of the week, however, is the Bank of England monetary policy decision. Will there be any hawkish chatter following the government's reopening of the economy and further easing of restriction plans coming in the weeks ahead?
Elsewhere, Bob, is there anything that looks noteworthy with the commodity currencies?
For the commodity currencies, looking at the loonie, key stats, trade data and employment change figures. Expect employment change figures late in the week to have the key influence on the loonie. For the Aussie dollar, we've got trade data as well, and then the main event of the week, and that is the RBA monetary policy decision on Tuesday. So expect plenty of interest there for the Aussie dollar. For the Kiwi dollar, employment figures as well. These are first quarter numbers. Those are the only stats in the week, so expect economic data from China and from elsewhere to also influence in the week.
Moving east then and to the Asian giants, what should we be looking at in regards to Japan and China?
For the Japanese yen, relatively quiet week ahead. It's a shortened week. Key stats, private sector PMIs. These are finalized numbers, so we don't expect too much influence on the Japanese yen or the Asian markets. For the Chinese yuan, we have got the market's preferred Caixin survey PMI numbers in the week. Expect obviously the manufacturing numbers to have the greater impact on the global financial markets. Relatively quiet week for the yuan and the Japanese yen, but obviously these are key stats from China to consider.
Finally, Bob, as always, we finish with geopolitics. Is there anything there that could affect the markets in the coming week?
On the geopolitical risk front, no major shift in areas to consider. Obviously, China remains a main area of focus for the global financial markets. It's all been relatively quiet, really. And obviously then there's Iran and the nuclear agreement as well. So just really need to just keep an eye on Iran and the Middle East, and obviously, US-China relations, any spike in tensions, and then obviously expect demand for the dollar to pick up.
Well, Bob, as always, thank you very much. An absolute pleasure. Look after yourself, and we'll speak to you again very soon indeed. And thank you everyone for watching. That's all for this edition of the week ahead. But to keep up to date with everything else affecting the markets, head over to our Dukes Hobby TV social media platforms. Until next time, goodbye.